You're listening to Northbound,
presented by Big Time Hoops.
For the North, by the North, Big Time. And now your hosts, Tom Bard and Steve Carmichael.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Northbound, the podcast presented by our friends at Katahdin Trust Company. And we're recording this on a Sunday night as we gear up for the last week of the regular season already. It's crazy to believe that we're at that point. Well, here we are, Steve, and I find it funny because the only time you ever reach out to me to say, hey, we got to do a pod is whenever Prescott's had a big win. So when Prescott beat Caribou a couple weeks back, all of a sudden we needed to get a pod out. And then this week, Prescott beat Fort Kent, and you're reaching out saying we got to get a pod out. So what's the deal here? You only want to talk whenever Prescott has a big win.
Well, they didn't just beat Fort Kent. They clobbered them.
Yeah, what happened there? Give me the rundown. Let's start with that. What happened in the Prescott-Fort Kent game?
I would say that, so Jeffers got in foul trouble early. Within the first, less than 90 seconds in, he had 2 fouls.
Yeah.
So he had to sit real quick. And Prescott, they played well. They shot the ball great. Case and Bua had 21 in the first half. Cruz Casavant Bua finished with 26. Casavant finished with 22. You get that kind of production from your top 2 players. And Fort Kent didn't shoot the basketball well like they did the first matchup. Prescott played really well. And I told people back at the beginning of the season, you're not going to want to play Prescott as the season goes on. It's what they do. They get better and better every year. And then at the end of it, they may be the underdog, but they're not a team people want to play. And
the girls, too. Big win yesterday on the road, right? At Herman yesterday?
Girls have been red hot in January. 2 wins over Herman, win over Old Town, and a win over MDI on the road. And then they were ahead of Ellsworth for about 31 and a half minutes.
And we'll talk about all that. That's what we want to talk about on today's episode is we just, with 1 week to go in the regular season here, take a look at the playoff picture because before you know it, just like that, we're going to be having prelims and then it'll be tournament time. So we're just going to run down through all the classes, kind of take a look at the bottom, see who's kind of fighting their way in, still has a chance to maybe get into a prelim game and who could take possibly a leap with the last couple of games to go in the regular season that could affect the tournament standings here. So let's just run down through them and we'll just hop into Class A boys real quick. Camden Hills boys have the number 1 seed locked up at this point. No one's going to catch them at this point with 2 games to go in the regular season for them. As we look at the current standings, no prelims for Class A, just the top 8 get in.
Oh. Yep. Yeah, that's the same thing too in Class S. Just the top 8, and then B, C, and D have not many prelims. I think in B it's just 1, and then C and D is just 2 on each side. So the prelims, it used to be like 3 through 15 players. Yeah, they're 4 through 13. It was just insane. There were so many prelims, but now with the reclassification and adjustments, just a few of them. And in Class A, Camden Hills is way out in front. Edward Little against Mount Ararat and Lewiston left. They're likely going to be the 2 seed. Then you got Brunswick, Lewiston, Bangor, Mount Blue, Hamden, and Skowhegan. Brewer
has Camden Hills still, though. The Brewers got Camden Hills this week and Hamden Academy in front of them, too.
Hamden Academy, yeah. So they're going to have to win one of those at least and maybe get some help, too, to try to leapfrog Skowhegan.
So there you go. I just want to shout out Bangor real quick since I live in Bangor. And growing up, Bangor was the program in the entire state. And for pretty much all of Maine high school basketball, Bangor has been one of the most, if not the most successful programs in the entire state. 8-8 this year. After combined, I think it was only 3 wins over the past 3 seasons or 4 wins over the past 3 seasons combined. So shout out to them for taking the leap. They're going to get back in the playoff picture. And looks like they'll play Lewiston in that first round game in that 4-5 matchup. So shout out to Bangor. I like it when the big programs are around. I'm a big program kind of guy. So I like to see that right there. Let's jump on down.
I was going to try to see if Brewer had played. They played Camden Hills once on the year. It was a 10-point win for Camden. But I don't see, I'm looking at their schedule, trying to find if they have played Hamden Academy yet. I don't see it on their schedule. Skowhegan throttled them the first game of the season, but I don't see where they've played Hamden yet on the season. Well, that's a big one, and that's on Tuesday night at 6:30.
Must wins for Brewer, but they got a guy that could take him there. Ollie Higgins could be the guy to just put him on his back for a couple games and get him into the tournament.
Yeah, I think Robertson hit the game winner against Oxford Hills the other night.
Yep, big win for Brewer right there. Let's drop on down to B-Boys. And we've talked about B-Boys a lot. We talk about B-Boys every year, and we talk about how it's going to be fun come Bangor tournament time. So right now, Herman in the number one spot. They've been there pretty much all of the season. Coney, Gardner, MDI around at the top 4. Top 9 make it in B North. So right now in that 9 seed is John Bapps. Nokomis right on their heels. Nokomis has Gardner, which is a big game this week that could get them some points. So Steve, as you look at the bottom, Prescott's in that 8 seed. Looks like they've safely played their way in with a couple big wins they had that we just touched on.
Yep.
What do you see kind of shaking out in that 9 range to see who gets that last spot? Is it going to be John Bapps or Nokomis, you think?
Well, it looks so. Just to go through the standings, it looks like Herman and Coney have wrapped up the 1 and 2 seeds. Herman's got Bapps left, and then Coney's got Levitt left. Gardner's likely going to be 3, and then MDI and Ellsworth will be 4-5, which that is a really good 4-5 matchup. We want to talk about a rivalry matchup between MDI and Ellsworth. They play the final game of the regular season against each other, and then they're probably going to match up in the quarters.
And big win for Ellsworth yesterday too.
Yeah, took down Caribou. So Ellsworth, very good team, very underrated. So that game right there will be one of the highlights in the first round. I think Erskine Academy has locked themselves into the 6th spot, so they'll get a bye right to the Cross Center. Then it gets really interesting from 7 to 11. So Belfast right now at 6 and 11. Their last game is against Lawrence, who is currently in 11th. So if Belfast wins that game, they could jump into the 9. Then you have Nokomis with Gardner still in MCI. They could also jump into 9 with the victory over Gardner, who's worth a ton of points. John Bapps had a huge win last week against Foxcroft Academy in a game where I didn't watch it, but I was told they had 52 points and hit 17 threes.
Oof.
So do the math.
Yeah.
What's 17 times 3?
Don't put me in the spot right now, right? 48 maybe?
Well, you went to Fort Kent, right? You guys can do math real quick.
17 times 3?
51.
51? Yeah.
51 of the 52. That's what I was told. I didn't watch it, but that would be insane.
Yeah.
But the Crusaders can really shoot the basketball, especially with Colby Haggerty. So Bapps right now occupies at 9th seed. Presque Isle, they're definitely in a prelim. It just determines if they beat Caribou on Wednesday, they will then jump into a bye. They could have jumped into a bye if Fort Kent would have beat Mattanocook and Madawaska to end the season to get some help, depending on what Belfast does against Lawrence. So there's a lot of variables going on right now. And this is what happens when it's down to the final few days. What's the scenarios? What are the odds? Who's got to beat who? Where are you going to get points? And thankfully, it's all online now with how quickly they can get the information in and the results in.
Yeah. It used to be a weekly thing, right? Back in the day, wasn't it like once a week they'd update it?
It'd come out in the paper.
Yeah. Must read stuff in the Bangor Daily.
Now it's pretty much all these ADs get in, especially on the final day of the regular season, immediate input, and there's your standings. So it's hard to say. I would. Herman is fantastic.
Yeah,
I would expect them to beat John Bapps, so they're likely going to stay where they're at. But then it's, does Lawrence beat Belfast? Belfast, they lost to Gardner the other day by 15. Nokomis, Gardner, that's a tough ask. I'm not sure how MCI is. So those are probably the 3 teams. You're looking at Belfast, who's in 7 right now, all the way to Lawrence at 11.
Yeah. All I know is
where things can move around. Presque Isle and Belfast are in it. It just depends on where they're going to be. One of them is going to get a bye. Who is it?
I'm just happy that Coney's in B North this year, and we get to see Coney play in Bangor, which has probably never, ever happened. They probably always played in Augusta, right in their hometown. But we get to have Carter, Brathwaite.
Well, no, Coney, Coney has played in Bangor back in the early 2000s. I remember I was in middle school.
Yeah, a long time ago.
I think I was in 7th grade, and in 2002, I think. And Nick Cassavant was playing for Presque Isle, and they were playing in the semifinals at the auditorium. So Coney has played in Bangor. It's just been quite some time, but it's the same thing with Lawrence.
Yeah.
Gardner. And those are all Augusta area schools. They're going to make the trip up north now. But really, not that bad of a ride. No. It's 60 miles?
Yeah. It'll be fun. It'll be fun just to have, it's B, but it's a new look B. And it'll be, it's going to be a loaded tournament up here in the north. So we're looking forward to that. Let's drop it on down to C real quick. current number 1 seed is the defending Class B state champs of Caribou. Coming off a loss yesterday, like we just mentioned, to Ellsworth. Fort Kent, we've had a couple bumps in the road here as of late. Took a couple L's. Tough one yesterday to Mananocook. The number 2, Mananocook at number 3, Foxcroft 4. And it's going to be the top 10 that make it in C. So prelims would be 7 through 10, right?
Correct. Yep.
What are you seeing in C here? What's kind of sticking out as we head into the final week?
Well, for Caribou, they are pretty much locked into the 1 seed. Shout out Coach Kyle Corrigan. Got his first ever technical foul this weekend.
Wow.
Well done. Yeah.
Showing a little
You
fire.
don't really need to get technical when you're kicking the crap out of everybody. When you're kicking the crap at everybody, you don't really need to get a technical foul.
It's true.
So he finally got one. Well done. I've been waiting. But Caribou, yeah, locked into the 1 seed. There'll be one of the favorites going into the Class C tournament. Struggled a little bit as of late. Of course, they lost to Presque Isle, but then they, beat Foxcroft at home, beat Orono on the road. They'll be okay.
Yeah.
Fort Kent, they still got Madawaska left coming up this week, and they are in a gauntlet of their schedule. We talk about
they've had a stretch.
When they were Wednesday in Presque Isle, Thursday at home against Machias, which was a very nice win for them.
Yeah.
Saturday down in Mananocook Academy, where they were winning most of the game and then kind of lost it late. Madawaska this coming week, and then they finish with Holton. So it is just a brutal schedule to end the season for Fort Kent. But if they beat Madawaska on, I think is it tomorrow or it's Tuesday?
Tuesday.
They'll lock up the 2 seed. No concerns there. Mananocook Academy, big win, as you mentioned. They will host, or they'll take on Sumner, who's in the 6th spot. So that could be a preview of the quarterfinals. That's a 3-6 matchup right now. And then you got Foxcroft Academy, WA, Sumner, and Orono, Callis, Bucksport, Dexter is the current prelim spots. George Stevens Academy has played 18 games. So they're done. They're done. And Dexter still has 2 games remaining. So likely at MCI's got Morrison, Nokomis left. So if MCI is able to pick up a win or 2, they could jump Dexter. They could also jump Bucksport. And realistically, they could probably catch Callis or be pretty close. Same with Central. So those are really Orono. That game against Foxcroft tomorrow, that's a big one. That could put Foxcroft. Well, Foxcroft will probably stay 4, but that could put Orono up to 6 potentially. So that's how Class C is looking. There's that top 4 though, and then I'd throw Orono into the situation as well. But they've been battling injuries with especially Brady Hughes and Matt Allen was out for a while.
Yep. Of
course, they're well coached by Ed Catala. I would throw Orono into that 5th spot.
Great, and that's who we're looking at playing in the first round for Fort Kent. So,
well, if they beat Foxcroft, they may not. And then if Fort Kent loses and Mananocook beats Sumner, then Mananocook will likely jump into 2. And Fort Kent will go 3.
So a lot to still be decided.
They'll play out. Yep. Yeah, Class C's not decided at all, except for Caribou at 1, pretty much.
Yeah. You touched on it, though.
Pesky Vikings. They're always right there, aren't they?
Yeah. Well, I'm just worried about the 3rd, Fort Kent and Madawaska. That's a big one. I'm looking to sweep the regular season series against the rivals. Saw Quinn Pelletier last weekend when we were up in the county for our event we did last weekend. Right. And I didn't even think about it. I didn't talk to him at all about it. I should have gotten his head a little bit. But I'm gonna just go ahead and let the Warriors do their thing and go ahead and wrap up that season series right there. Lock us into the 2
one
seed.
will be. That's on the road. That's at Madawaska.
At Madawaska.
Because I did the first game in Fort Kent.
Yep.
Yeah, I did the first game. I'm not going up on Tuesday, but I did go to Madawaska though in between our episodes.
Which game?
I'd never broadcasted in Madawaska before, and I wanted. It was Madawaska Fort Fairfield boys.
That was a big win for Madawaska.
And I do want to shout out. What's that?
That was a big win for Madawaska.
Yep. It's WOWL and Colin Jondro, and the setup that they have there is phenomenal. The technology and everything they have, it was amazing. It was like, this is one of the best setups I've ever been at.
They've been doing that for a long time. They were doing that back when I was in high school. Like that's been a great thing that they have at that school right there. So shout out to WOWL, WOWL. Speaking of Madawaska, let's drop it on down to Class D. So Machias took their first L of the season this past week to a certain team from Fort Kent. They were missing some players from what I hear, though. They weren't at full strength in that one. But nonetheless,
Yeah,
still
Caden Carter was out. Yeah.
16-1. They've got the number 1 seed locked up at this point. Madawaska's got one more game to go. They got the 2 seed. Bangor Christian 3, Fort Fairfield 4. It's the top 10 that make it in D. So your prelim teams right now, Central to Rustic, Skank, Penobscot Valley, and Stearns would be 7 through 10 looking at playoff games with Narragansett just on the outside looking in. Steve, what does Class D look like to you here as we head into the last week of the regular season?
Yeah, Machias, the biggest thing is to get healthy. I mean, without the production of Carter, and someone told me that Fitzsimmons got shaken up in that game as well. That's really the duo for Machias that does a ton of damage. They've got some nice pieces. They got Baird as well. I think it's O'Connor too. That Machias at full strength is really, really good. And losing, I mean, Caden Carter, I don't know how tall he is, but he's got to be 6'5", 6'6", and he is an athlete. Like, you want to talk about probably like Sam Tebow last year, everybody talked about his ability to be a high flyer. Carter's going to be the same way. And Machias is a bit of a chip on their shoulder this year, and they've proven that with the 16-1 record right now. Just got Narragansett left, so the Bulldogs get healthy, be ready to go in Bangor. Look forward to watching them in person for the first time this year. Madawaska 14-3, Bangor Christian 15-2. If Madawaska beats Fort Kent, yeah, they'll lock up the 2 seed. Bangor Christian, they'll be close. I mean, Jonesport Beals is number 1 in Class S.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure what the point differential is. Fort Fairfield and Bangor Christian are pretty close. Hodgson, Woodland. So you got the Panthers right now, Central Rustic set to play Stearns. But Stearns still has 2 games left. Holton won't give them much for points, but Skank is at 9-7, and they're in the 8th spot. I'm trying to see if Skank and Stearns have played this year, and they have. It was a 61-50 win for Stearns. So if they can beat Skank, they might jump up ahead of Penobscot Valley or be pretty close because the Howlers only have Lee Academy left. And Lee Academy will give them a few points, but not much. Panthers have been playing better, though. Kellen McCrum, Will Whited, Woodworth, and McKean, and those boys are doing well.
Name drop.
Too. They pick up a huge win the other day. It was over Hodgson, 63-57. I think they were down like 11 going into the 4th quarter.
Yep.
And the Panthers picked up the big win. Then they smoked Ashland and Southern Aroostook. So the Panthers are playing better. And if they can beat, they got Fort Fairfield left. They're worth a lot of points. Woodland's not so far ahead where the Panthers may be able to catch them and get a bye. So again, this is the thing. I don't know. I'm not a mathematician. I don't know exactly how the heel points work. I just look at the index and the tournament index and say, it's possible.
Maybe, you never
but
know.
I don't know for sure.
We'll find out after this week when all the games have been played and they tally it all up for us. So right now it's all speculation.
But like Central, Panthers, Wolverines, Howlers, and the Minutemen right now are in the prelim spot. So Narragansett is probably out. So they got Machias left, which I'm assuming they've played once on the year, and I would not expect Machias to lose to Narragansett. I can't find right here. Machias beat them once, 96-35.
Yeah, not looking good for Narragansett this week. But hey, maybe Machias is going to rest some guys and try to get into the tournament healthy. You never know. You never know last week of the regular season.
I know.
Let's drop it on down to S, where the number 1 seed is the Jonesport Beals Royals at the moment. Easton, Katahdin, should make up your top 4. Only the top 8 get in. Right now, Van Buren's in the 7th spot. Deer Isle, Stonington in 8. East Grand on the outside looking in. Looking at the numbers, I don't think there's a way that they get in at this point. It looks like the top 8 is locked based on what the points look like right now. But your takeaways from S, Steve, as we go into the last week of the regular season here. Well, can I just point one thing out first? So we're coming off just looking at Class D where there was 10 teams or 9 teams with at least 10 wins in Class D. And you look at Class S and it's just 2 teams with 10 wins or more. and just a lot more losses in this class. So what's the deal? They just getting beat up by bigger schools, or are they just super competitive in Class S?
Well, yeah, I think 3 teams over 500, but yeah, you look at like losses for Washburn, Hodgson, Central Heuristic, Fort Fairfield, Hodgson, Central Heuristic, Fort Fairfield. I mean, these are teams that are near, in the playoffs in Class C or Class D, excuse me. So yeah, there's just Easton's losses: Fort Fairfield, Madawaska, Fort Fairfield, Central Heuristic, Madawaska again. So I mean, those are all losses against Class D schools. So yeah, only 3 schools above 500 right now. Jonesport, Beals, and Easton have identical records of 11 and 6. Katahdin at 9 and 8. And then Shed, Washburn, Wisdom, Van Buren, Deer, Stonington. And if you look at the 6th and 7th spot in their tournament index, it is identical.
That's crazy.
So last year, there was a tie in D for the 8. I think for the 9 spot, I believe. It was between Wisdom and Washburn. It
was a playoff. It was like playoff game for the playoffs, right?
Do they? Yeah. So depending on, now they're both in it. So do they play in their last games are Washburn and Fort Fairfield? Washburn for Wisdom, Fort Fairfield for Van Buren. If it becomes that they beat the same teams and lose to the identical teams, do they have to play a prelim to see who gets the 6th and the 7th seed? And of course, it had to be the 6th and 7th spot, right?
Yeah, exactly.
TikTok trends.
Yeah. So that'll be interesting.
But I'd say that they have identical point totals.
Yeah.
Or do they just do a tiebreaker, like how many road wins this team had? Or
they probably have some.
It's so rare. And Wisdom's involved again.
Yeah, it's true.
It's always Wisdom. What's going on?
They just like to make things interesting.
Tied.
They just like to make things interesting.
Just so.
Yeah. So a couple of
I mean, I watched Easton play the night. They were impressive. They were fun to watch. They're a very talented team. Jonesport Beals as well. So is Katahdin. Washburn. Garrett Pord was in foul trouble real early. He's one of their better players. I don't know much about Shed, but I do know they just had a kid scores 1,000 points. So Class S, still no decision on when they're going to play. We'll find out hopefully by this weekend.
Hopefully we have some answers.
Weekend.
Yeah, they're going to. I think we talked about this in the previous.
People got to take time off work.
Yeah, because they start early. They start before everyone else. So it'll be fun crowning our first Class S state champion. That's going to happen this year. Let's switch it on over to the girls' side here. We'll run down through all the classes once again. Looking at Class A Girls North, Mount Ararat, the defending Class A state champs, are now in the North. They're in the South last year. Number 1 seed right now, 15-1. Camden Hills number 2, Hamden 3, Edward Little 4. And it's the top 8 that make it. Brewers in that 8 seed. Scout Hegan on the outside looking in. Steve, I don't know if you have any input. I know you don't really pay attention to too much Class A North basketball, but any input here for Class A North as we head into the last week of the regular season?
I mean, I watch it when I can. Catch it online usually, but I don't want to pay attention. I cover B, C, and D and S.
I know that's your go-to.
That's where it's not that I want to neglect A by any means, but I just for my coverage, it's always not A basically.
Not many A schools up in your area.
Brewers the only one that came up.
Yeah.
To play Presque Isle, so I don't see Camden Hills or Mount Ararat or Hamden Academy very much, or Everett Little. So. Sorry, I apologize, but just the way it works out. Camden Hills, though, has rattled off. They've beaten a lot of really good teams. They defeated Hamden, I think, twice this year.
Yeah.
And then they got to 20-point win over Bangor. But Potomac Valley's really good. They beat them by 18. I mean, they lost to Oceanside, who's unbelievable in the South. They lost by 12 to Mount Ararat. So keep it out of the Windjammers. I still like Hamden Academy as well. Mount Ararat, although with the 15-1 record. Shout out to the Rams as well in Bangor, 12-4.
Big win yesterday over Edward Little at home yesterday, so big win for them. They're probably going to play in the first round of that 4-5 matchup. So shout out to the Rams, big win as we head into the last week of the regular season. Speaking of your coverage area,
Brewer's also there too.
Yeah, Brewer number 8. Yeah. Dropping it down to B. This is your forte right here. You're like the Class B guru. Gardner, number 1, 15-1, only 1 loss in the season a couple weeks back. Old Town 2, Ellsworth 3, Presque Isle 4. You mentioned Presque Isle playing really well at the right time. top 9 get in. Right now, it's Coney sitting in the 9th spot, Erskine in the number 8 spot, which is crazy place for Erskine to be there, 13-3. But beat pretty much everyone on the schedule, but they're looking at possibly playing in a prelim game. Your takeaways from B, Steve, because we also have a certain player named Maddie Provost, who's probably the front runner for Miss Basketball in this area as well. It'll be fun having her in Bangor for the first time too. So the Class B tournament's going to be loaded. Your thoughts here as we head to the last week?
Gardner and Old Town are way ahead of everybody else. Like they're right neck and neck. Old Town's got Orno left, and then Gardner's got 2 left. So I would assume Gardner's going to get the 1 seed, and then Old Town will slot at the 2. After that, from 3 to probably 6 could change depending on results. MDI, I mean Erskine too. Yeah, Erskine 8 seed. Like they were in the regional final last year, didn't lose anybody. They're 13-3. Their losses are to Gardner, Lawrence, and Madomic Valley. Yep. 3 great teams, beating everybody else. And they've got Lincoln and then Lawrence left again. And that game's on Thursday. That is the game to watch. I have that night off. I might try to find out who's streaming that. Take a peek. Watch that. That's a game to watch right there. That will decide a lot. MDI's also got Ellsworth on Tuesday. Another big game. If Ellsworth wins that, they probably lock up the 3 seed. If MDI wins, they could jump up to maybe the 4th or 5th seed. Lawrence, I make the schedule for coverage for HOU.
Yeah.
I've never done a game of Provost.
You're a big Provost fan. That sounds like one you're going to take for yourself.
I am. I've always been a big Provost fan, so I may put myself on that game for NFHS Network or for WHOU, depending on where it is. If they move it on the second round, it's HOU. But Prescott's playing really well too. Herman and Prescott played just a dogfight down the stretch. Prescott they were up by double digits for most of the game, and then Herman made a fierce comeback in the 4th quarter. He just steadily chipped away at the Prescott lead. Ended up losing by just 2. And that could be a quarterfinal matchup. So Prescott and Herman always seem to find each other, especially on the girls' side. Whether it's soccer or basketball, they find each other. And Ellsworth at 3, big win the other day against Caribou on the road in a hostile environment. So Class B girls, and then I keep looking at Erskine Academy though.
Yeah.
Like if you are Old Town, trying to look at Erskine Academy, they lost by 13 to Madomic. Where's their game against? They played Gardner and lost by just 6, 60-54. So if you're Gardner, I don't know if I don't want to see Erskine. If I'm Old Town, I don't want to see Erskine.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
Gardner being young too.
There's a reason why they were in the regional final last year.
This is going to be for a lot of them their first time getting into a playoff situation like this. So we'll see if the youth, Erskine's got the experience. We'll see how that kind of plays out if it winds up being a 1-8 matchup right there.
Yeah, but that Class B girls North. Any Gardner, Old Town, Ellsworth, Prescott, Herman, Lawrence, MDI, Erskine, and you throw even Coney in there. They can all win it.
Yeah,
they can all make a run. There's nobody in that top 9 that I think, and even John Bapst is out of it, but even as the 10 seed, it's like they've got quite a bit of talent too.
Yeah.
So B North girls is stacked, and it will be for years to come. But that will be one to watch out for here in a couple weeks.
Looking forward to that one.
If you can buy a ticket, buy the sessions for B girls.
Yeah,
you'll enjoy it. They'll all be competitive.
B boys too. Just go see all B in Bangor.
Yeah.
Drop it on down to C North. Mattanock Cook got the number 1 seed locked up at this point. They're 17-0. They do got Penobscot Valley to close out the regular season this week. George Stevens 2, Foxcroft 3, Dexter 4. Top 10 make it. You look at those teams that are still in contention. Holton in the 9th spot, Central in the 10th spot, and then Washington Academy on the outside looking in. Real quick, Steve, your thoughts on C in terms of who may get in and if anyone can actually challenge the Lynx from Mattanock Cook for the C North title.
I don't know if anybody can challenge Mattanock Cook Academy. Sears averaging 28 points and 18 rebounds a game. Then you throw in Megan House as well. She's averaging close to 18, 19, or 20 points. So that duo right there, I just don't think anybody can touch them. GSA, great season. Foxcroft as well, tough team. Dexter Caribou will be a good quarterfinal if they play. Looking at 7 through 10. I mean, shout out to Holton for the improvement this year. Same with Orno with Coach Sinclair. Sumner at 7 and 9, Central at 5 and 12. It's just, but I feel like it's Mattanock Academy.
Yeah.
They're such a wagon right now. And I think they've been the bridesmaid, as I've talked about. I think it's their time.
We could get a Dexter Mattanock second round matchup, but we know Dexter come tournament time, they always seem to find a way, right, to get and to a regional final appearance. Somehow they just seem to always be there. So you never know.
Yeah. MA only beat him by 11 a few days ago.
So we'll see. That'll be what we're watching for in Class C North. Let's hop on down to D. Another class that seems to have a favorite here as we head into the final week of the regular season, and that would be the Bangor Christian Patriots, who have beat everyone. They beat Penobscot Valley for a third time this week. They go 3-0 in a rare 3-game series in a regular season. They're 17-0. Machias number 2, Central Heuristic 3, Southern Heuristic 4, and then it's the top 10 to get in. You're looking at Skank and Fort Fairfield in that 9-10 spot, with Penobscot or Panquist Valley on the outside looking in the 11th spot. Real quick, Steve, is anyone going to touch Bangor Christian in this Class D tournament, or is it theirs, you think?
Could be a semifinal, Bangor Christian and Penobscot Valley. So they could play for a fourth time.
Yeah.
This year. Central beating Southern yesterday pretty much locked them into at least the 2 or the 3 seed, which guys with Narragansett left Central Heuristic with Fort Fairfield. I think BC is that top 5 is really loaded, and your winner's going to come out of that top 5. But yes, you have to consider Bangor Christian to be the favorite. I mean, with that, Mary Allen doing what she does, and Durost and Kowalski and Bradford, they're 17-0, right? I mean, you got to give them some love.
Yeah. Who calls the Class D tournament for you guys? Are you going to do any D games?
Yeah, I probably will. I did all B boys last year. I might move myself around a little bit.
You should get yourself a Bangor Christian game too, if you can. If you're going to put yourself on, if you're scheduling, get yourself a Bangor Christian game.
Maybe if they're 1-4, I'll put myself on the semifinal. Bangor Christian, Penobscot Valley.
There you go.
That's the advantage of doing the schedule.
Let's hop on down to S for our last region here. Wisdom in the number 1 spot at 16-1, Katahdin at 15-2. It seems like those are the 2 teams that are probably going to be vying for the Northern Maine Championship. Hoping that Wisdom can finally push through after been knocking on the door for so many years here. Hoping that they could finally get it to a state championship game. Top 8 make it. It looks like the top 8 are locked at this point, with Washburn in the 9th seed, far behind heel point wise. It looks like they're not going to catch Easton. So your thoughts, Steve, on Class S, North S, as we head into the final week of the regular season?
Did Wisdom against Fort Fairfield on Monday. Ava Lerman had 28. She had 32. Average is 28 for Ava Lerman. Also got a 1,000 point. First ever MVP of the Stevies.
Yeah,
gave her a trophy.
Stevie Awards. I like that.
T-shirt.
Yeah.
It's been fun so far. Still got plenty of awards to hand out to some of the kids. We'll meet some of them come tournament time and take care of that. But Polly Cullen as well on the Katahdin side. She was freshman of the year. Great player for the Cougars. Those 2 seem to be just on a path to meet in the regional final, which should be their 3rd match of the year. Wisdom beat them on Friday, but it was a very close game back and forth. And if that doesn't be in the regional final, that's one to watch. I would say Maddie Sear had 19 against Fort Fairfield too. And Peyton Roy's a really good freshman. So the Wisdom team's real tough.
Yeah, shout out to Wisdom. That's not a team. For a long time, they weren't very good. When I was coming up, at least in high school and stuff like that, kind of struggled for a little bit. But they've been there for I don't know how long now, just knocking on the door. So love to see Wisdom push through here and get to a state championship game.
Yeah, Katahdin's got a real bright future with some of their talented freshmen. They got a real young core. So they're good this year, but they've got a real bright future too.
It'll be fun to watch. And just like that, Steve, we run through all the classes here. We've got to wrap it up and head on out for this week. But any final thoughts before we wrap up this week's episode of Northbound?
I'm ready. I leave in 11 days. I'll be gone for almost 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I'll be at the Cross Center. Don't be shy. Come down and say hi. I'm right at center court.
Yep.
I'm the bald guy. I'll have a WHOU quarter zip on probably with Nike sneakers. Just come say hi. I like meeting the fans and the parents and players and that listen to the content and watch the games online. I'm a people person.
He takes pictures, folks. He takes pictures. He does it all. Don't be shy. Go see Stevie.
Please.
Yeah.
Please. I've had people yell Stevie at me all the time. And I was like, come say hi. You don't have to yell it at me. Just come talk.
Yeah. Real quick, I'll get you out of here on this one. What is the session or what is the region that you're most excited for as we head into it, that you're anxious to call? What's going to be the most fun?
Be North Girls.
Be North Girls. Okay.
Be North Girls.
All right.
I think that'll be real fun. It's going to be it's a war.
Yeah.
Out there from 1 to 9.
So hopefully we get another little break here before you have to hit the road and get to Bangor. We can get at least one more episode in before tournament time, kind of preview it and actually look at the matchups, hoping that lines up. I know you said you only got 2 games this week, right?
Caribou Prescal. Girls on Tuesday, boys on Wednesday.
There we go.
Yep,
so
that's it. Then I'm done.
Almost there. Crazy to believe how fast this regular season went by, but we are at that point. Thank you for listening to this week's episode of Northbound presented by Katahdin Trust. We will hopefully, like I said, get one more episode in before playoff time and wrap it all up when we're all said and done. For Steve, for myself, thank you for listening, and we'll see you next time on Northbound, the podcast.